Here we go into another episode of the Kevin and Casey podcast. Kevin Hilly along with my friend Casey Cloak.
Yay!
Always love doing this. And if you want to weigh in on anything we ever talk about or make up something of your own, that's fine too. You can always call us. We have a hotline, 856-318-9873. The Kevin and Casey podcast hotline. That number again. Operators are standing by. 856-318-9873. Or you can email us, Kevin and Casey at kevinhilly.com. That's Kevin and letter K, letter C at kevinhilly.com. I got quite a response on my Facebook page. I was talking about closed captioning.
Yes.
Do you, when you watch TV, do you put the closed captioning on?
Not usually. I will tell you, though, so Charlie's got an aunt that's deaf, and whenever she comes to visit,
Right.
we go ahead and set that up.
Right.
And it's actually really nice. Like, I feel like I'm more in tune with whatever I'm watching because of the closed captioning.
Well,
so.
I do it out of necessity because I got to tell you, my hearing is fine as far as I know. I mean, I'm probably partly deaf just from 40 years in this business, but I'm saying in general, you know, my hearing is okay. But these people on TV, they mumble.
They do.
And they whisper their dialogue.
And then the sound effects are so
The
loud.
music, yes, the music in
the
back-
background.
Oh,
that
my God, it drives me crazy.
Yeah, me
so,
too.
so I'm constantly, you know, my wife and I were sitting there watching TV, and somebody, you know, somebody says something, and I'll say to her, "What did he say?"
Yeah.
That's like the conversation.
That's me all the time.
All the time.
That
What did he
is.
say?
I think I should put mine on there because honestly, it would help me, but also Lexi with her, you know, going into second grade. And it's
sure.
very important to be
Just
reading
be
all
able
the
to
time.
read it.
Yeah, so maybe, but maybe that would be bad too.
That's a really cheap parent way to get your kid to read.
Right.
All right, honey, I want you to watch the closed captioning.
That's exactly
There'll be a
right.
test later. Okay?
But I probably would be able to follow along a lot better.
It
Yeah.
is. It makes it much easier. That, and also, I watch a lot of shows with Brits and Irish people.
Oh yeah, that strong, thick accent.
Good luck understanding what some of those people are saying. Hey, I'm sorry, my Brit friends, I love you, man, but you got to learn to speak English.
Yeah, that's right.
That's all I'm saying. You might have invented it, but we made it better,
That's
okay?
right. Well, and some of their slang terms, too. I worked with a British gentleman, and he cracked me up. He was really fun to get fired up because the more mad you got him,
yeah.
the thicker that accent was, and it was just comical.
But the angry, well, unless you're talking like a Scot, you know.
That's Irish.
Yeah, exactly. My Irish and my Scottish and my English, they all sound the same. They're one big, horrible mesh.
We're bringing that leprechaun back, aren't we?
Always after me, Lucky Charms. But, you know, and the other thing with TV and the audio on it, just in general, the audio a lot of times, I don't know if it's the compression
Sure.
or the audio. The audio quality on a lot of shows is just terrible.
Right.
It's like they had a budget and they said, don't worry about the audio.
Well, and even movies, too. So we have one
Right.
of those sound bars that we like to turn on when we're watching a movie. 'Cause
Right.
It really helps with the special effects
The
and everything.
explosions and all,
But again,
yeah.
it's that background. I mean, especially, you know, it seems inevitable. We try to watch a movie when Wesley's down for a nap.
Right.
And you turn it up so you can hear them talking. And then all of a sudden it's like boom, boom, boom. It's like,
Oh,
crap.
yeah.
Yeah, and I just freeze
You
for a
gotta
moment.
keep-
Like, let's please hope he didn't wake
You're
up.
constantly sitting there with your finger on the
Yes,
volume button.
I do. I keep the remote close by to turn it
It's
and
true.
turn it up, turn it down, turn it up. Yeah, I
But
think I
when
need
you
to
get
just
those
turn it close.
background effects, whether it's the music or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, so it's like there's a dialogue going, but like I said, they all whisper though.
Yeah.
Why are you whispering?
Maybe it's our hearing, though, Kevin.
No, it's not. I'm telling you, I've told this to multiple
I
people.
admit, I don't have the best
You
hearing
speak
anyway.
for yourself, Casey
Okay,
Cloak. My
okay.
hearing is fine. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, right,
Exactly.
yeah.
But no, in the background you hear and you hear the dialogue.
Exactly.
What?
Wait, what are they saying? What are they
You
saying?
need the closed captioning.
I like that idea.
That's exactly
I don't
why.
know if Charlie will be on board, but we'll try it.
Hey, by the way, congratulations! I hear you're moving.
Yes. We officially got
you
the
got a
house
target
on the
date
market.
yet, or?
You know, ASAP. Really, we can sell anytime now. That'd be fine.
So you're
moved
selling your
out.
house?
Yes, we're selling our house.
Okay.
And my husband builds custom homes, so that's our
You had any
next
people looking?
endeavor. Yeah. We got it on the market Friday evening. And by Saturday morning, we had a text that there was already a showing. I know, right?
Hey, is your house being shown yet?
Yeah,
sorry, we're still in bed.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the reasons, too, that, you know, we wanted to get out of the house and get it ready. Not only for my own sanity of keeping the house clean, because, you know, with two kids, well, my husband's a child as well, the adult child. So with three kids ultimately in the house, there's no way I can keep it clean. And then on top of it, you know, Wesley still naps. You know, he's still a baby. So if a realtor calls and says, hey, I've got somebody I want to bring out in a half hour,
Right.
then you got to
You
wake the
gotta
baby
be-
and you got to get out of the house. And I'm not going
I don't
through
wanna
all of
deal with
that.
that.
No,
Yeah.
no. That's what we decided. We're just going to get out, let it go ahead and get shown. And we stopped in on Saturday to do just a few, cleaning things and just, kind of sprucing everything up.
Mm-hmm.
And we even had some people show up that hadn't confirmed an appointment. So, there's a lot of activity. So I'm very hopeful. We'll see.
Isn't it weird because we've sold a house before.
Sure.
We sold our house in 2014
Okay.
and moved to the lake. But isn't it weird when, especially a house that you've lived in for so many years, you have all your memories there, the great kids have been raised there,
Yes.
and then you have like these complete strangers walking through and basically analyzing it.
Yes.
Like, well, I don't know if I really like this room.
I think that's
well,
the
it doesn't
thing that
like you either.
Exactly.
So-
That's why I don't want to be there. Cause
No, it's kind of like, wait a minute, this is where my child
Right.
painted on the wall or
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah, we had a lot of those stories. Getting the house ready. It looks amazing now. I'm like, gosh, I wish it looked like this when we lived here.
Yes.
Every
We might
wall
wanna
has
stay
been
here.
painted and door and hinge and trim and everything. But it was a matter of, we've been there for 5 years. And
Yeah.
raised, Lexi was 2 years old when we moved in, and those toddler stages, they're messy.
Oh, yeah.
And you just start to mentally block out the permanent marker on this wall. You just accept it. But when you've got to get it on the market, you got to
You got to do
get it. Yeah, exactly.
We were in our house for 11 years. We
Okay.
basically raised our kids there. And every one of those rooms had a memory of some kind. Oh,
Sure.
this is where John almost broke his arm.
Yeah.
And this is where, whatever. This is
Absolutely.
where
The
the kids
tree,
climbed out the window one
yeah.
day and whatever, that kind of thing. But so you can't, but that's the kind of stuff you can't really sell.
Right.
You just
No,
have it.
no.
Do you know what a looky-loo is? You ever heard of that expression?
I've heard the expression, and so it depends on what it's used
Okay.
with. Okay.
My no, it's nothing dirty or anything like that. She's
Where you
looking at me
going,
like,
Kevin?
wow,
Where
what
you
is this going to be? No, my in-laws years ago had a beautiful house at the Jersey Shore. Right on the
nice.
beach block, big, beautiful, white, and they decided to sell it. Well, of course, being at the Jersey Shore, you get a lot of tourists.
Oh, so you're talking about the nosy people that show up
They have
acting
no
like they're
intention of
yes.
buying.
I think we had one of those come in on
They just
Sunday.
knock-
Yeah,
Hey, we
Charlie got all excited
we have
because
some
he
free
was
time.
there.
Let's go
Yeah.
look at a house for sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are out there. They
Looky-loos.
are
They're called
exactly where they
looky-loos.
seem very interested. I told Charlie, he had a gentleman that stopped by while he was there. Doesn't have a realtor yet. I'm thinking, wow, if you're really on the market, you usually will have a realtor ready in pocket, and it's for him and his wife. But his wife wasn't with him, so I'm like, if you're really serious, you're gonna bring your wife too.
Yeah.
These are just,
If you're really
my husband
serious.
was all pumped, and I'm just like keeping it to myself, thinking, yeah, this is what you call a looky-loo.
This is
Yeah,
not
he's just
gonna happen,
Sunday
yeah.
afternoon. I'm bored, or maybe he's getting ready to put his house on the market and wants to check out the competition. I have
could
I have
be
all
an
these
opposing
theories.
realtor.
Yeah,
I didn't think of that.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you know what? We'll know if he's serious if we get an offer. We'll just go with that. We'll treat everybody the same. Still.
When you sell a house, and as I mentioned earlier, you have all those memories and everything
Yeah.
in there. Okay, our son. Now, all my kids are adults now.
Sure.
So this was like 5 years ago.
Okay.
We sold the house, and they were just getting into adulthood, and my son almost refused to leave. In fact, at one point, he held it against us. He says, "You sold my house." Because
That's how I
that was the
felt.
house they were
Yeah,
raised
that
in.
yes,
Well,
I
the
get
new
it.
owners were about to take possession of it, and he was still there. We were moved out, but he was still in there. He had a mattress in his room, what was his room.
Oh, that's too
And we were
funny.
like, okay, John, you can stay here until the day before they have to move their stuff in. Then you have to
Then
leave.
you have to leave.
You're being evicted, young man. But it was just like he became a squatter.
It's hard to let go. I know with my childhood home, I grew up in St. Louis,
Yeah.
and it was my parents had bought a lake house down here at the lake, and we weren't. I don't even think we had the house here for a year, and my parents finally decided, we're like, you know what, we're moving to the lake. We're getting
Yeah.
out of the city. My dad was an electrician at Anheuser-Busch, and my mom was a registered nurse
Right.
at the local hospital up there. And I tell you what, they both moved down. We moved down here. It was middle of my freshman year of high school, though, so I was not a happy camper about this one bit.
Right.
So even during the house sale, the house sold a lot quicker than they thought. And it was a matter of 2 weeks, and it was like boom, sold.
They didn't expect that.
No,
fast.
they
Okay.
didn't. They didn't. So in fact, it was quick. It was so quick. And my mom, instead of moving everything down to the lake, because again, we already had furniture, we already had kitchenware, so we didn't need to bring all that stuff. So she literally, instead of a garage sale, she just had an open house sale. So people are walking around on a Saturday morning, just walking room by room, and mom's just selling it.
What's this?
Well, I was so mad. So here I am. I stayed in my room, kind of like your son.
Right.
I slept in that bed, and I gave everybody a
Nobody's
dirty look
coming in
that
here.
walked in my room.
Hey,
and it was
this
like,
place
no.
is haunted, just so you know.
It was so
And there was a murder in that room.
Well,
okay?
the place was already sold. The house was already sold. These people were just
too
wanting to
late.
buy the furniture. I was still just really perturbed, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You know. And then the day that we moved away, it's kind of funny. So I hope, well, obviously it's up in St. Louis, so they probably aren't listening. But there was a few things I did to that house to like leave my mark, if you will.
Really?
So I'm so curious. One of these days, I'm going to go to the old neighborhood and
wanna
see if
check
the,
it out.
if the
Oh,
deck
look,
is
it's
still there.
still
I carved
there.
my name in a certain hidden corner. And
Wow.
I know.
That's cool.
It's so silly. It
You know,
is.
we when I was a kid, we had a house in Connecticut.
Okay.
And at the time, it seemed so big.
Sure.
And then a number of years ago, I drove past it, and I go, "That was it."
I agree.
When I was a
agree.
kid, it
Yeah.
seemed so giant. But I mean, it's not tiny.
No,
but it, you know,
everything's bigger when you're
everything's bigger
younger.
when you're-
I agree. I
when you're a
agree. Even
kid.
the neighborhood, because I'll do a drive through every now and then, because a lot of our neighbors still live in that neighborhood.
Right.
It was a wonderful neighborhood. It was amazing, but it does look a lot smaller.
yeah.
It does. Everything does. The whole cul-de-sac and everything.
So you're still trying to sell your house, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So it's
Here's a handy tip.
okay.
When people come in, say that there was a murder in there. I think it does make some kind of macabre appeal, you know. Yeah,
It's
right here in the
funny
kitchen.
that
Don't
you
tell
say
anybody,
that,
okay?
Although I probably shouldn't share this because my house is on the market.
See?
No one died in that house. I will tell you
Don't
that.
tell 'em
but,
that.
But somebody was shot. I'm not going to
Wow. Okay. Now see, your value just went up about $20,000. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember when we first bought that house, a friend of mine said, "Oh, we looked at that house, but somebody died in that house. Somebody was murdered." So I freaked out. I'm doing all this research, calling the realtor because we had literally just closed on it.
Right.
And come to find out, the previous owner of the home, his disgruntled, it was his girlfriend's son. They had a disgruntlement, and he didn't die. He got shot like in the leg or
Right,
something. Nothing
right, but still.
catastrophic. But still,
Anytime there's bullets and guns involved, I'm telling you.
But I can assure you, the bullet holes have been filled. Everything's
we're having a
blood
dri-
stains are
we're having
washed.
a drive-by
no,
sale. Come on.
Everything has been completely renovated since that previous owner.
We have some
so.
murder bargains going on right now.
It was
Hey,
terrifying, though.
Let me ask you, Casey, when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
That's easy. A teacher. I've
Why
always
so
wanted
many
to be a
girls
teacher.
say teacher?
I don't know. I mean, I ever since, third grade. And actually, I don't know why I do know why. My third grade teacher was probably one of my favorites, and she
See,
stuck with me.
I think that's
and
a
I
big
always
po-
wanted to take on third grade.
Teachers are such an influence.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably next to your parents.
Right.
Or,
right.
You know.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
So interesting because they asked kids age 8 through 12
Okay.
in the U.S. and the U.K. and China what they want to be when they grow up. And you would think, okay, maybe astronaut,
right.
you know.
Race car driver.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
yeah.
Number one, do you know the answer? Did
No.
you see this?
No. What is it?
What do you think it would be?
Number one, probably a doctor.
No, not even
Really?
on the list.
Really?
No.
Veterinarian?
No.
No. Okay. I'm just naming off everything my daughter keeps
A
saying.
YouTube star.
Oh my gosh.
Can you
That's fun.
believe it? They want to be a YouTuber.
Yes, I can believe it actually now that you bring
Or a
that
video blogger or whatever,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
because that is, and again, this is 8 through 12 years old. You know,
Right.
these are the things that they've been exposed to, and to them,
Sure.
oh, the big stars.
social media, and that's a lot. I mean, we
Are on
didn't have
YouTube.
social media when I was a kid. So
Right.
that
Well,
definitely makes
exactly,
sense. That's-
exactly. But
yeah.
you look at some of the other choices on here. So YouTuber number 1,
Okay.
teacher is number 2.
Okay, that's
on the
great.
list. Professional athlete.
Oh, that was
baseball,
that was my
football,
daughter last year. She
basketball.
got into basketball and she wanted to be a basketball star. Yep.
Musician.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then astronaut. Astronaut, 11%. Now, that's the U.S. and U.K.
Okay.
But in China, astronaut is number 1.
really,
Because they
They're
really value
advanced.
science
Yeah,
there. See,
yeah, that's true.
That's the
That's
thing.
true.
And the YouTuber is at the bottom of the list.
that is
So-
interesting. I think I would prefer my child to want to be more of an astronaut versus a YouTuber.
Well, and
right now she's still set on veterinarian. So
I will
last
tell
year was
you-
veterinarian and basketball star. She's going to do both.
Maybe
I'm like,
you can do
okay,
both.
you know, yeah.
See, the thing with like a YouTube star is it's really almost the same as like a professional athlete.
It really is.
Because your odds of doing that, you look at anybody, even somebody who's fairly good at basketball or football or whatever, the odds that they're going to end up in the NFL or
Right.
the NBA or whatever is like a tenth of
Who
1%
knows? Yeah.
of those or whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
I'm trying to, pretty much the same with YouTube. It's probably a little better odds.
but you still
it
have
doesn't
to
evolve in the
gain
app.
the followers and
Yeah,
grow.
exactly.
I mean, you're really kind of self-promoting. It's
Right.
a lot of self-promotion. Unless you have really good content, then, you could be a natural star, I guess.
I
But,
suppose, but it's all about fame. I mean, that's what they're going for. But again, this is the thing that has been.
Give it 10 more years, and I tell you what, that's going to change too. It makes you wonder what's going to be out there. But I tell you what.
I weep for the future.
Yes, but everything on the social media, Instagram, I think it was KSDK. So I still follow some St. Louis news
St. Louis,
stations and everything. They published something yesterday on Facebook about getting paid to post on Instagram for companies, and you're
sure.
making big
You mean
bucks.
even if your name's not Jenner or Kardashian?
Yeah.
Wow,
I mean, you're the behind the scenes person doing the posting.
You're an
of things.
influencer.
Yeah,
See,
exactly.
yes.
Exactly.
Are we influencers, Casey?
I doubt it.
I don't think we're influencing anybody.
Hopefully, my children. But
Trust me,
we'll
I was going to
see.
say, I don't even influence my kids. In fact, whatever I say, they do the opposite. Okay. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. You know, the Kevin and Casey podcast hotline is 856-318-9873. What did you want to do when you were a kid? What did you want? I will tell you, by the way, I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do.
Really?
Since I was 10 years old, I wanted to be
That
in
is
radio.
awesome.
I didn't know how to do it, but I
Okay.
just knew I wanted to do
So
it.
why? Just because did you guys listen to the radio a lot?
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
that-
Yeah, I
wanna
grew
be
up in
that-
Philadelphia
was it
area.
Sports radio that got you
No
in, or
music. I just
music?
wanted to be a
Okay.
DJ.
That's awesome.
Because I grew up listening to the what they were called the Boss Jocks.
Okay.
In Philadelphia on
okay.
WFIL,
Uh-huh.
and that was my big thing. And I said, I'd love to.
How
do that.
cool though
Yeah.
to be able to say you followed your dream.
Yeah,
I mean,
really
not
did.
a lot of people can do that. I know I didn't.
Well, but you're quite
When I
successful.
found out what the teachers make, it was like,
Hey,
oh
listen,
wow,
you're
that's
on with
crazy.
me.
Yeah, that's
So,
right. There we
you know,
go.
there's a dream come
You
true.
made me feel special.
Oh yeah, thanks. that and a dollar will get you a cup of coffee.
That's right.
Or you can also email us. By the way, it's Kevin and Casey. That's letter K, letter C. Kevin and Casey at kevinhilly.com. Love to hear from you. What did you want to do when you grew up? When you were a kid, what did you want to do when you grow up?
And did you?
And
get-
did you?
Yeah.
Or
did-
are you a miserable failure now?
Oh, stop.
Thanks, Casey.
Thank you.
There's another episode of the Kevin and Casey podcast.